Hi, everyone. So today I'd like to share few details about the Agentforce session tracing. So I have explored few of the details about the session tracing and the data model of the session tracing and how we can set up the session tracing in our org. So whenever we built an agent, so we used to preview the agent. So if we preview an agent, we will see a trace like how the agent has been gone through the step by step of reasoning, actions, and another sub agent transition. And from there, what are the actions it got executed, and input output parameters, how it got flowed. So all those details will be shown in under the session trace. So those details where it got stored in Salesforce. So those are the stuffs which I'm going to explain in this video. So this is the standard Salesforce article of Agentforce session tracing. So basically, Agentforce session tracing captures details on agent interaction with the user from start to finish. So from start to end, till you complete the conversation, all those details will be captured under the session tracing. Separate objects are present. So first, let me show you in a org where it will be present. So let me open an agent. So here I have the agent. Let me go to preview. So here, yes, details. Yes, yes. So now you are able to see the user has sent a message and we got the agent response. Now we are able to see input, transition to sub-agent, case record retriever, and reasoning. After reasoning, there is an action got executed. After the execution, again a reasoning got shown. So if we go to the trace, so here you are able to see the details that are present. So addition to that, you are able to see a session. So session is nothing but the session ID specific to the session tracing. So here you can see the details and response. So you go for input, what is the input I provided? So sub agent transition. So what are the available actions prior to executing action? It will go through all the actions available, then only it will go to the respective action that needs to be executed. So here we are able to see the list of steps that got executed or some access issue is present. So in order to figure out the issue during the preview itself, we are using the trace. So it's similar like Apex where we have a debug to filter out what is the issue and identify the issue. The same we are using here. So this is from a developer point. From a developer point, I can go and I can preview and I can see the trace here. So after completing the implementation, so I have activated the agent and it has been gone to EIT. So the user started using the agent in a messaging session, sorry, in a experience side. So during that time, one of the user reporting, like there is one particular scenario, the agent start hallucinating, it's not providing the correct input. So it's occurring in a rare case. I'm not facing frequently, but in some scenarios, like if I provide in a different way of context, then it is going for a different information. It's not working in the expected way. So if those scenarios, how I'm going to uh, fetch the details for that particular session. So we have session and intents present. So if we have go to session and intents, so we will see the intent summary and the response summary which we got, and what is the sub agent, what is the action and response quality and the score we have. So this is at a high level. So these are the informations which are shown under the session and intents. So you can get the particular user information and you can retrieve this particular session and you can get the details. But in if I want more details, like how the interaction steps has been done, like here if we go for an agent preview, so you can see a lot of reasoning action, again reasoning like which action got executed and in that action what is the input got passed. So those details I want to see in those scenario, how we are able to fetch the details. So if we know the data model, we are able to easily get the details that are present for that particular user, and that particular interaction we can get the interaction steps, and we will identify, okay, this is the message which has been passed, and these are the reasoning, and this has gone to this reasoning action at that particular time. So how the data model has been configured. So prior to going to the data model, how we are able to set up this session and intent in the agent. So here we are having session and intent. So it is not default enabled. We need to enable few of the settings in the or. Then only this session and intents will display for the agents, whatever we are active and we are doing the testing. So for example, I have 3 agents which is currently active in this or, and we have 2 channel types. Builder is nothing but the preview. So during preview, if we are testing out, it's showing under builder, and under embedded messaging service in the experience side, if I am testing, it's showing under this. So whether it's a chat or a voice or for modality. So processed and unprocessed sessions, so completed and in progress sessions, it's showing under this. And coming to the setup, so let me go to the article itself. So here, setup Agentforce session tracing. So there are certain prerequisites we need to check from our org. So whether our org is eligible for that, or else we need to install one of the package, Salesforce Standard Data Cloud. The package version should be 1.130 or higher. So if it is below this version, then you need to upgrade the package. So let me go to install the versions. Already my org is available, but let me show you very quick. So go to install packages. So here you can see Salesforce Standard Data Model, and the version is 1.132, so which is higher. So on the second step is to turn on Einstein Generative AI and Agentforce. So normally which we used to do for working on Agentforce. And from quick find Einstein Generative AI, then select Einstein Audit. So you need to go here, search for Einstein Audit. So you will find this. So under this, you can scroll down. You can see Agentforce session tracing. Session tracing you need to enable. So here you can see, go to Agentforce session tracing, turn Agentforce session tracing on or off. So we need to turn on. So after that, you can just go through this. So and the permissions that needs to be provided also clearly mentioned here. So you can go through once. So coming to the setup in the Einstein audit, you need to enable this checkbox and you need to enable this agent optimization. So and enabling Agentforce session tracing itself enough. So we have agent platform tracing. So what's the difference between these two? So session tracing is for a conversational flow. So here it will take care of the input, sub-agent routing, and agent response. So when in case of platform tracing is for services. So it's for the backend executions like LLM calls, flow runs, or Apex invocations, or timing errors. So those are captured under the agent platform tracing. Agentforce session tracing, it will capture the conversational flow like input, sub-agent routings, and agent response. So those has been captured here. So once after turning on this setting, so the session and intent will be started showing the details for the agent conversation which we have had. So this will be like after enabling. So if we started having any conversation with the agent, so it will started showing these sessions. So it take me few hours to show the conversation. I'm not sure, since it's a developed edition, it might taken the time. So even I have seen the text, it's showing like typically within a few hours. So the processing will complete and it will show. So you can wait for some time to just get the sessions to be displayed under this. So coming to the data model after setting up and seeing the sessions and intents. So let me go through the data model. So all the objects, whichever I'm showing here, these are not like standard Salesforce object. These are data 360 objects. So all are data model objects. So all the informations which we are storing, like agent session or session participant, agent interaction, interaction step or interaction message. So these all objects are data model objects. So that records are present in the data model. So coming to the agent session. So agent session is the parent object. So when a session starts, so the agent session is the key. So from the agent session, so we have multiple child objects associated with them. So first is the agent interaction. The agent interaction has two child objects, interaction step and interaction message. And agent session has another one child object, session participant. So in a simpler way, what I can say is session is the parent object. So from the session, I'm making conversation. So I'm sending a input message to the agent. So that agent sending out another one message to me. So a user has sent a message and a response has been given by the agent. So these two messages will be called interaction. So input and output I got. So that is an interaction. So that interaction, input and output message will come under the interaction messages. So during that input and output message, there will be a process which will be taken, like based on the input, it will be gone to the topic selection and the routing, and there will be LLM response and LLM processing. So all those steps which will be taken care during that input and output in between. So those steps have been captured in the interaction steps. So coming to this session participant. So here itself mentioned it's a session participant. So who are all taken participant in this session? Like there will be a user, there might be a contact, or there might be a agent. So there for sure there will be an agent and user present. So who will be taking care of the conversation? If there are any contacts which we mentioned, so those also will be considered as a participant. So the fields that are present for each object. So here they have a detailed explanation of each object description. So agent session so represents overarching container capturing contiguous interaction with one or more agents. The typical session can start when the customer asks the first question and end when the customer closes the agent chat window. So from start to end, this session ID will be a unique for that conversation window. Represents entity human or AI the text passed in the agent session. So participant as already mentioned. So what takes place in the conversation, so those will be considered as a session participant. So interaction represents a segment within a session. It typically begins with the user request and ends with the agent provides a response to the request. So as I already mentioned, input message sent from the user and a response has been output provided from the agent. So that one input and output is called as an interaction. So those messages which are stored in an object called interaction message object, single communication provided by the user or generated by the agent during a session. So interaction step represents a discrete action or operations performed during an interaction to fulfill the user's request. So the actions and operations performed. So as I already mentioned, so during the input and output, for the output generation, there will be certain actions executed and the process will be run through certain tools. So those details are get captured under the interaction step. So here we have the object and the fields that are present for each object, like agent session object and session participant object, agent interaction object, agent interaction message object, and interaction step object. So these details I have. So how I can fetch the uh, records. So I want to fetch the records for an interaction step for a particular agent session. So how I can do? So we need to go to data cloud for that. So under data cloud, so I already done this also. So we have query editor. So under query editor, so we can query the details related to that specific object. So here we have the fields. So if you want, I can show you something. So if I want to go for a agent session, so let me go down agent session. I have click here. So click create query with all fields. So here all the fields related to the agent session DLM is present. So you can click on, you can save it with a particular name. So you can rename and you can provide a name and you can run the query. So the details will be fetched. So this is how so you can go here, click on create query with all fields. So the fields will be listed and you can just run the query. So you will get the details. So now we have got the details. So here I have done for a particular session. So particular session, I got the what is the channel type and what are the session start time and end time. So SSOT ID. So what is named by SSOT? So it's like single source of truth. So that's what a SSOT full form. So every field has this SSOT. So SSOT is nothing but single source of truth. So coming to this, after getting the agent session informations, we can go to get the interaction, because as per the data model, the first will be agent session, then we have interaction. Under interaction we have these two child objects and we have session participant. So under interaction query, so I have put agent session ID is equal to the ID which we got. So based on the session ID, I got the interactions associated with it. So here we have the session interaction, and here we can get the interaction ID. Let me go. So these are the interaction ID. So based on the interaction ID, I can get the interaction message and interaction step. So I have taken a particular interaction ID. So from that ID, I got the input and output. So as already mentioned, so interaction will be of a input message from the user and the response from the agent. So this is the interaction message, and coming to the interaction step. So from the interaction message, so here the ID is same. So the same interaction ID I have taken and I have pasted here. So for the same interaction, I am getting the interaction step now. So if I go to the interaction step and I'm based on the start time, I'm reordering it in the ascending order. So if we go here, so we can go through the steps how it has started. So variable update step, after that classifier has gone. So after classifier, topic step has been run. So after LLM step and action step and variable update step and LLM step. So I got the interaction step type. So what are the steps it has gone through. So I have got the detailed informations what has been passed in the request of each input value text, what has been gone and what is the process. So in a detailed way, like what are the step got executed. So those informations will be present in the interaction step. So coming to the agent participant. So the agent participant who have participated. So what are the type of agents? So this is an employee agent and user. So in the session, agent has started the conversation, user provide the message, and so those has been provided. So addition to that, we will have the source ID and the ID of the participant. So these are ID specific to this DMO objects. So apart from the data model, so another one thing is like we can get these objects in reports as well. So I want to create a specific report. I don't want to query these details. I want a simpler report to get the details of a specific agent session with interactions I want. Then we can go on, we can search for the report. There are standard reports available to get the details for specific session, or if you want to create reports on a session with the interactions, we can do that as well, and we can just group those based on the session ID. So here you can see a agent session, a agent session with a agent interaction, and a agent interaction message. So moment is a different one. So during agent optimization, I can explain this. So for now, so we what we need to understand is like agent session is the key object which will have the start to end conversation informations. So it won't hold all the details, but this is the parent which is linking with all the child related objects. It has the major details like when it started and when it got ended, and what is the session ID, and what is the type of agent. So agent interaction is something like it will have separate interaction informations, like uh, in a simpler way, a user input and a agent response output, like it will be like multiple interactions will be present. So each interaction will have two child objects. One is interaction step, and another one is a interaction messages. So apart from this, agent session will have a session participant who and all participated in this conversation. So those are my initial learnings in this. This is like a, there are a lot of details and lot of articles are present in this, and they are using open telemetry to for exporting the data, and if you want to export all those informations, we can use that, and we have some other API related documentation as well. So I'm still exploring on that. So on the building consideration as well, we have, I'm still exploring on that. I will add the detailed link of this article in the post as well. So thank you.